Cory Sandhagen is taking on Deiveson Figueiredo this weekend, man. It's going to be the main event of UFC Fight Night Des Moines. And today I'll be breaking down the fight, giving my prediction on who I think is going to win. Now, the odds makers have the line very, very wide. Cory Sandhagen is minus 480. The return on Deiveson Figueiredo is plus 380. The last time I looked at it, it was lower, so the line is going up. I can say that I did not expect that, but when you kind of look into this fight, maybe you can kind of see the signs. But anyways, man, Cory Sandhagen's 33 years old. He's coming off a loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, a performance where I thought he was too much into that mind that of his that is, trying to overthink things a little bit. You know what I mean? I thought that he should have just came forward and actually fought instead of kind of, I don't know, being methodical, pondering around the octagon, not throwing anything and waiting for the takedowns. I don't really know what his game plan was. I don't think it was that great. But I do think if that he would have pushed the pace, just like, if Ian Gary pushed the pace versus Rakhmonov, I think he would have beat Rakhmonov. You know what I mean? Just like he did versus Prates. I thought if Sandhagen would have actually pushed the pace a little bit more, he would have beat Umar. But didn't happen. Now he's back. He's taking on Deiveson Figueiredo, who is also coming off a loss to Peter Yan where he got smoked. And, I don't think there's any other way I could put it. He got smoked. Now, when it comes to Deiveson Figueiredo's skill set, it's very good. I mean, it's very good, but there are some key things that he doesn't do that well. Now, obviously, the guy has incredible finishing ability. He is, for a guy who is this old still, he's got some nasty power. I mean, this guy can, he can torch you. It's simple as that. I mean, who did he just drop? Peter Yan. I don't think Jan's ever been dropped. Dropped Marlon Vera, never been dropped before. This guy's got some real pop in that right hand. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, when it comes to the grappling side of things, Deiveson Figueiredo is very, very good as well there. Now, there are times where he is, a little bit one-dimensional, I want to say. I feel like in the first fight at bantamweight or I might have been the second fight, was at UFC 300 against Cody Garbrandt. I thought he didn't look great in the striking. He really got outstruck in that fight by Cody until he took him down and submitted him. And obviously the Yan fight, when he was in front of a guy who is so balanced, that can do it all, a good striker, a good grappler, he got beat up pretty bad. You know what I mean? So the game plan on how to beat Deiveson Figueiredo is out, and it's relatively easy. Be defensively sound and be able to land more shots than he does, which isn't hard to do. I had a hard time watching the Marlon Vera versus Deiveson Figueiredo fight because both the guys are low volume. That's my biggest issue with Deiveson Figueiredo is his volume. I don't think he has a diverse striking attack. I feel like he's very one-dimensional when it comes to his striking. He doesn't throw in combination. He's only throwing singular punches. He does, he tries to set up his shots going to the body and then he'll go up top, but he does have that power that he can get away with it. You know what I mean? And it's moved to bantamweight extremely well, except he's not putting these guys out and concussing them as much as, the flyweights were getting concussed. So the power, although, he's dropped Vera, dropped Yan, I still don't know if it's as good as it was at flyweight because I felt like at flyweight, man, he's just like, if he hits you clean, bro, like you're flying across the octagon. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily know if that power is carried over all the way, but if he's still able to connect, man, he can hit you and hurt you bad, But Deiveson Figueiredo, man, he's got some issues for me. I think that the volume is definitely number one. It's absolutely, without a doubt, number one. The cardio is a bit of a concern as well. And there's a good chance he is going to get out-volumed in this fight. There is no way that he lands more strikes than Cory Sandhagen unless the fight ends in the first round. And Deiveson can do that, though. So that's the danger with the guy that's looking at plus 380. He can finish the fight no matter who's in front of him. He's got incredible BJJ. He's got very, very good power in his hands, and he can finish the fight at any time. Now, you know who my pick's going to be. It's going to be Cory Sandhagen here. It's hard for me to pick Deiveson Figueiredo when he's 37 years old. He's shown some decline. He's coming off a loss where he just got masterclass by Peter Yan, which isn't the worst thing ever. He's still won 3 out of his last 4 fights. But Sandhagen, to me, is just a brutal matchup for him. I really do think that. Cory Sandhagen, he is a smart fighter, and I just kind of shit on him for getting in his own head against against Umar, but he is a smart fighter. He knows how to win. Um, he knows how to give you different looks. His takedown defense looked very, very good. I expect that he's going to be tested in that area of the game. I think that Figueiredo is definitely going to shoot a lot in this fight. He shot 14 takedowns against Marlon Vera, which is a bad sign for me. You know what I mean? I don't like that because Marlon Vera is not even close to the level of striker that Cory Sandhagen is. I do think that Sandhagen, he is very good footwork. He has very good movement. He's defensively sound. He sets his shots up well. He's going to be much taller. He's going to have the reach advantage. He's going to be the younger guy. This is Cory Sandhagen's fight to win, and I think he wins it pretty easily. 49-46 is what I think is going to happen here. I don't see him finishing Deiveson Figueiredo. Obviously, Deiveson's known for being pretty damn tough, and durable. He did get dropped and hurt a couple times, I feel like, in that fight with Peter Yan. Look out for those, uppercuts from Sandhagen, just like the ones Yan was throwing. Sandhagen will throw those uppercuts the same exact way. I don't necessarily know if there's more, power behind those as Jan's, but Jan's isn't very powerful either. But yeah, I just think the volume is going to be a lot to handle for Deiveson Figueiredo. He just will not be able to keep up, especially at 37 years old, especially in the bantamweight division. You don't really see guys like this win a fight, and especially with how Cory Sandhagen's been looking. I think that Sandhagen, the way he loses this fight is by finishing. It's getting rocked with a big shot. I don't really know if I see him getting submitted, maybe a club and sub where he's a little bit hurt and makes a mistake on the ground, but it is very hard for me to see him losing this fight on the scorecards. I don't want to say it's not possible, but I think it's not possible. I just don't see Figueiredo having a lot of success in this fight. I gave him a round because I do think that he is that dangerous that he can find the mark and land a big shot at any time in the fight. I don't know if he's going to finish the fight, though. Cory Sandhagen, I don't even know who's he been dropped by. Dropped by Yan. He got hurt momentarily against Yadong. And to me, man, I think Yadong is a better fighter than Deiveson Figueiredo. You put Yadong and Figueiredo in the octagon, I would pick Song every day of the week. So Sandhagen, to me, he is a very smart fighter. In that Yadong fight, when Song was crashing forward, Sandhagen was cutting him with elbows. That ultimately ended up, losing the fight for Song because Cory had cut him up with those elbows, and it was very smart of him. So he does make in-fight adjustments well. He will shoot takedowns to give you different looks. Now, I don't recommend doing that because, while Figueiredo, he hasn't had a submission in a minute, he does have a nasty guillotine. So I think that Sandhagen won't probably shoot takedowns here. Potentially he might. I do think that he is not the better wrestler, not the better BJJ. He might be the better wrestler. He might be, potentially, but he definitely doesn't have as good jiu-jitsu as Deiveson Figueiredo does. It's just a bad matchup for Deiveson, man. He's not going to be able to keep up. Another thing I'll mention is that Deiveson, man, I just saw a picture of him on Twitter, and he was looking fat. Now, I don't know if it was edited. I have no idea. But, man, if that's him, bro, he's probably going to get finished, The keys to win for Cory Sandhagen here, I have it very simple, and he does it all the time. Manage the distance, stay away from the big shots, defend the takedowns, and just go to work. And I think he'll have no problem doing that. I don't think Figueiredo wins this fight. Now, the number 480, a little bit crazy to me. I definitely don't think I'll put anything on Cory. Maybe I'll look for a prop, but more than likely I'm not going to put anything on him. I think the decision line is probably going to be minus 180, 170. And I think that possibly Sandhagen could finish the fight just because of Figueiredo's gas tank. I don't think it's looked great. But yeah, man, this is a relatively easy fight to predict, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going with Cory Sandhagen, 49-46 decision. That's going to wrap it up for me. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.